Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to DuPage Medical Group Field on this beautiful Sunday evening. It's Margaritaville Sunday as we get ready to see the Nantz herd face off against the Joliet Slammers. I'm Carter Gledhill, joined by Lonnie Wilkins. And Lonnie, this is a Herds team that's coming into a game against the #1 seed Joliet Slammers on an 8-game losing skid, looking for something to change their momentum.
Yeah, it's no secret the Nerds have struggled here in the month of August. They've basically gone 3 weeks without a win. Their pitching hasn't been too bad, but the bats have been unable to get the job done. And tonight they try and right that ship and steer that boat in the right direction and keep it in between the navigational beakers.
So the Joliet Slammers sit atop of the City of Champions Cup standings with a record of 11-4. The Tully Monsters with the win today against the Deep Dish are now 10-4. Deep Dish are in third at 7-11 after their hot streak last week. And the Nerds herd are 3-12. And on the mound today for the Joliet Slammers is Cameron Ofterhide, who has been one of the aces in this bullpen and been really a good factor as to why this pitching staff has been the best in the Cup.
Sure has, and the defense behind him, as you see on your screen, has been tremendous behind Cameron Ofterhide and company for the Slammers pitching staff. You couldn't ask for much more than a solid defense behind you. See Taylor, Crum, and Vaughn from left to right. Then Glasser, Kirtley, Martin, and Pereira from third to first. Procession behind the dish, doing the catching like you said. For Ofterhide, who has made some appearances out of the bullpen, now coming in as a starter today. So for Cameron, this is a big opportunity for him to impress his manager, Billy Petrick, who's a big league pitcher. So he knows what to look for in these guys, and you get a talent pool like this here in Joliet at the City of Champions Cup, good things are going to happen. And if you're the Nerds, you can't write them off. They've got themselves a real opportunity to dethrone the Slammers, just like the Deep Dish did last week to spark the winning streak for them.
Ofterhide pitched last time against the Deep Dish on the 9th. He went 6 innings, allowed 5 runs. He had 8 Ks and 7 hits, and he's looking to rebound today as Hayden Cantrell steps into the box for the Nerds herd.
Ofterhide comes into today with a 3.15 ERA, very good. 1 win, 1 loss. He's worked 20 innings. So he'll go to work against Hayden Cantrell and Carter. This should be a nice, beautiful baseball game.
Couldn't have asked for a better way. It's 85. It's a little bit breezy. Old Glory in center field blowing straight out, so we might see a couple leave the yard today as the first pitch is underway here at Joliet for a ball.
3 home runs in game 1 earlier this afternoon between the Tully Monsters and the Deep Dish. Grand slam.
As that ball's driven to the right field area, Vaughn can't make the catch, and that bounces to the wall. Cantrell's rounding second base and is pushing for third. The cutoff throw is bobbled, and Hayden Cantrell is off with a leadoff triple to start the game.
Well, there's a 5-hour energy shot for you to start the game. Cantrell motors into third base. He gets an inside fastball from Ofterhide and shoots it into the right center field gap. Vaughn took a great route at that ball, just couldn't get it. And with his speed, he makes it to third easily, even without the bobble. And, well, there's the start for the Nerds, and you got Briley Ware, who has been one of the hotter hitters here in the City of Champions Cup at the plate.
Cantrell's first triple of the season sets up the herd very nicely in the early going, as Briley Ware has a 6-game hit streak, batting .340 with 7 RBIs. Interesting stat, he does not have an extra base hit. He is a single hitter. He will find the holes in the outfield and poke it out there. But, man, this is a hot bat, and for a chance to step on the gas early against the Slammers. The 1-0 pitch is grounded over to shortstop. That's going to score a run. And the herd, just like that, lead 1-0 with 1 out in the first.
Well, I tell you what, they waste little time to get on the score column as 3 pitches brings in the first run of the game. And Briley Ware does a great job. He's a contact hitter in the 2 spot. That's what you're supposed to do. Move that runner around. He drives him in.
Taking a quick look at the lineup here for the Nerds herd. As you saw, Cantrell led off. Briley Ware just got out. Ryan Stacy at the plate now. Kevin Watson is batting in the 4-hole. Matt McGarry, James Free, Justin Coons, Ashton Creel, and Terrence Dawson rounding out the bottom of the order as that ball floats down the line and just foul.
Some early swings from the Nerds, and I think that's part of their approach here today from their manager, Corky Miller, against this Slammers offense. And this is an offensive team in the Joliet Slammers that is the best of the 4. That scores early, they score often, and they've got pitching that will shut you down. So if you can jump on some early fastballs from Ofterhide, which they have done here in the first inning, try and get yourself ahead early.
Opposing teams have only scored 46 runs on the Slammers. The Slammers have 83 RBIs. Dimensions here at DuPage Medical Group Field, 348 to the left field corner, 365 in the left center gap, 400 dead center, 355 to right center, and 327 down the right field line, backed by Power Alley. And that's outside.
How many runs, Carter, did you say?
I believe it was 83 RBIs for the Slammers, 46 for opposing teams. Oh, there it is, folks. You'll hear that a lot tonight if we can get it more. And another foul ball for the Herd.
Speaking of which, our 83 tweet from Game 1 has already reached 670 the score. Chris Tannehill with the retweet up there at CBS. So
there we go.
I'd like to thank Tanny for the retweet and the love here to the Joliet Slammers.
So 2-2 count here to Ryan Stacy with 1 out after a quick start for the Herd. Swing and a miss, and that's Off Their Hide's first K and the second out of the inning.
Well, back-to-back outs after the leadoff triple, so a good bounce back at least for him. He got the ground ball to short, and now the strikeout. So a good bounce back for Ofterhide despite that one ground out leading to a run, but doing what he can to neutralize these Nerds.
So now stepping up to the bat now is Kevin Watson Jr. He's batting .242 on the season. He's got 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. He's got a .576 slugging percentage, so he can connect if he gets one over the plate. And looks to continue the hot start here for the Herd in the first inning.
Slammers have had a lengthy break of game time, so they've had the day game yesterday and then the turnover to the night game tonight as you see the light tower vanish on the infield, the shadow of it, as some clouds move in. Partly cloudy skies, plenty of light blue, beautiful evening. It's always got to be beautiful when it's 5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere in Margaritaville Sunday at DuPage Medical Group Field.
We'll keep the tropical tunes going, the good vibes, the pontoons, the speedboats, boat drinks, whatever you want. We got it here.
If you want to add to our good vibes here, or you want to send some good vibes to any players, you can email us at media@Joliet Slammers. We'll talk good vibes, vacations. We talked about weirdest college courses in our first game. Media@Joliet Slammers. You can talk to Lonnie and I throughout the broadcast. 2-1 pitch to Watson Jr. And he fouls it off behind the plate.
And we welcome all of you watching on Boxcast. If this is your first time, we welcome you and welcome to the City of Champions Cup. The Joliet Slammers, one of 4 teams. Slammers, the Tully Monsters, the Nerds Herd, and the Deep Dish. Basically a hub stadium concept, 27-game sprint for all 4 teams.
Swing and a miss. And that's how we're going to end the inning. Well, it got started with the triple, and Riley Ware took care of the rest. Nerd jump out to a 1-0 lead.
Hey Cougar fans, Carter Gledhill standing inside a Geisman Gymnasium where we just got done with the basketball season. Want to give a quick shout out to both the men's and women's basketball teams who qualified for the conference tournament. Now with spring break next week, that means that spring athletics is just around the corner. And we want to make sure you're up to date on everything CUC athletics. So I'm going to give you a preview of what's in store this weekend. I'm going to put a shot clock up in the corner and give you your CUC sports in 60. After dropping their first 2 matches of the year, the men's volleyball team has rebounded, winning their last 2, and are starting to look like that team that went 14-3 last year. Tonight, they host the rival and ranked 10th in the nation, Dominican University Stars, at 7 p.m. The women's lacrosse team is on the road Saturday against Monmouth College at 1 p.m. in their first game of the year. With a lot of new faces and returners, they look to continue on the success they had last year with their 5-0 start. After an opening day loss to Carthage College, the men's lacrosse team is home in their home opener at 1 p.m. against Mount St. Joseph University. One player to watch out for is freshman Clayton Emery, who scored 3 goals in that match. On Sunday, we have a lot going on with CUC. Inside a Geisman Gymnasium at 1 and 3 p.m., the women's volleyball team is hosting Rockford University in a doubleheader. Outside on the turf, women's soccer is taking on the University of Dubuque at 1 p.m., and then down the road in Division Street, the men's soccer team will take on the Dominican University Stars in an exhibition match scheduled for 1 p.m. There you have it, your CUC Sports in 60. Be sure to check all of us out on social media and follow along with us, and we will see you next week. And in the meantime, go Cougars.
Welcome back inside a Geisman Gymnasium as we've got the Lake Forest Foresters taking on
the CUC Cougars and some men's basketball on this Wednesday night. Cougars jump out to a 15-7 lead early. And Macy, we've seen something that the Cougars have struggled with early on in the season, and that's the 3 points actually being their friend as of right now.
Absolutely. Normally it takes them a while to start hitting their shots, and even if all for right now so far, they're 3 of 4 from the line, which is looking good.
So 4 of the 5 starters for the Cougars have scored points. The only one without any is Brett Hatton. So they're dishing the ball around very well for the Cougars as Rudell completes the 3-point play. We'll get a substitute in here for the Foresters. Adam Weingard coming in for Zach Foster. As that ball's tipped away, but corralled back by Oplachensky. The Cougars applying full court pressure, and Wilson's been taken on Bennett. And a carry and a turnover. That's the 4th turnover right now for the Foresters, giving another chance for the Cougars to score some points.
That's something we haven't seen a lot this season with the Cougars applying full court pressure. And like my coach always says, pressure is opportunity, and they just need to do more of that.
Hatton falling down on the layup, couldn't get it. And that one's floated off the right side of the basket. Adam Weingard, he gets his first points of the game. So Weingard, Bennett, and Roser are the only 3 to score for the Foresters. Roser with 5 points leading them all. As Rudell drives, shimmies his way through some defenders and floats it in. As Rudell has an easy 8 points to start this game. Entrance pass tipped by Rudell. We've been saying his name a lot tonight. Kenta Jones kicking it around, but gets it to Hatton, who kicks it over to Wilson for 3. No good. Bennett with the rebound. 2-man pressure on the ball. Someone's open. Forrester's trying to find him. Baseline drive from LePage. Kick over to the corner. Oplachensky left that one just short of the rim. Kenta Jones to Wilson. Finds his man, uses his pivot really well. And Wilson gets his first points. And that's blocked in the paint, rejected. And it's going to say, going to the Cougars, as LePage touched the ball out of bounds. J.J. Schwartz checking into the game. Justin Greenlee checking in, and for the first time tonight, Jaron Gaddy, the sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, will check in. Jamal Clark will also check in for the Foresters. As the Cougars are at a point right now, we're not very few in the season, a double-digit lead, and Matthews extends it to 14. Matthews with his first basket of the game.
Cougars are definitely utilizing those gaps in between the offense and looking for the best shot possible.
That's another missed 3, and a foul is going to be called as Jamal Clark drags J.J. Schwartz to the ground. But Macy, as you mentioned, Cougars are finding the holes in the defense right now. What are the Foresters doing that are allowing the Cougars to find those holes and drive to the basket?
Plugging gaps is huge, especially on each drive. What the Cougars are doing is they're driving in, pulling the defense into the paint while they're also looking for the open shots, what they've been hitting so far.
Cougars on a 7-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Got 8 points in the paint, but let's not mention they're shooting 4 of 6 from behind the three-point arc right now. As Gaddy looking for some help and swings it back over to Schwartz. But Cougars are spreading the Foresters out all around right now. Shot clock down to 6. Matthews kick to Greenlee. He'll kick it back out to Gaddy with a 3. And he makes it. So off the bench, Jaron Gaddy with some points. As Bennett drives in, loses the handle, grabbed out of the air by Schwartz. And Greenlee is pushing tempo. Gaddy again swings it over to Matthews. Can he hit it? No, he can't. But Clark with the rebound, trying to slow things down here as the Cougars are piling on the pressure, up 15 points as we near the halfway mark of the first half. Foul's going to be called as Weingart goes to the ground. J.J. Schwartz called for the foul. We got some subs coming in. Emmanuel Wilson checking in, as well as Val Oplachensky. And into the game, we got a 4-man line change. We got Jack Fleming coming in, Frank Segan, Johnny Roser. Bennett's going to stay out there. And Kurt Kozaretz is in. Matthews gets the ball, swings it over to Gaddy. And Gaddy, with 5 points already, he's making an impressive move off the bench. He had 5 points on the season coming into this game. Spin move in the paint from Roser. 7 points for Roser. He's leading the team. All other scorers for the Foresters with 4. Schwartz taking a man in the paint. Greenlee pulls up just outside of the block and knocks it down. And Cougars seem to be firing on all cylinders here in the first half. Good move into the paint by Roser, but couldn't finish. But Kurzaretz is there to finish it off. Timeout taken by the Cougars. But the Cougars with a 17-point lead in the first half. Well, 94 points, season high for you guys as a team. But what was awesome to see was the three-point shot fall, especially from guys like Isaac Rudell, who's struggled throughout the year. What was something that was worked on throughout practice or changed in the offensive scheme to allow that to happen and open up early on?
Yeah, we just want to generate better shots. You know, I mean, early on we weren't shooting the ball very well, but it's because we weren't taking very good shots. So we talk about the paint touches and the shots coming off how many 1 or 2 paint touches, and we show the guys the points per possession. And we're like, you don't have to be a genius to figure this out. When you get into the paint and you play inside out, you get better looks and you make shots because they're easier. So the last couple of games, I really like the looks that we're getting, you know, and we're playing unselfishly.
This unselfishly is a great way to describe how your offense was tonight. Usually we've seen one guy stand out above the rest, Jordan Matthews usually, but it seemed like tonight Jordan Matthews, along with other players, Isaac Riddell, Brett Hatton, and we even see Jaron Gaddy coming off the bench, explosive 5 points. How does it feel to know that your team right now is functioning at a level that is going to carry on throughout the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's one of the main things we talked about when we were on the other side was we've had guys go for 25 and 27, but then it's been like 6 and 4. We said we're a program where we're 18, 16, 14, 10, 10, 8. And I haven't seen the numbers, but I think we're probably close to that with 4 or 5, double-figure scorers.
As for you as a coach, where did it start for you to start instilling the values and the coaching mentality that you have for your guys to get them on board with the process?
It started day one. Every day we have a chance to talk to these guys from the recruiting process on and through the onboarding and all the way through preseason into the season. Year in and year out, we try to keep a consistent message of trying to put them and give them the ownership and say, hey, you guys put the work in, good things can happen. And please come to practice with questions, come with the hard work, and believe in the process. And the guys did. And it was awesome for the guys who were here in their second and third years. The amount of work they put in the off season has been absolutely huge. And talking to some of the alumni, they kind of joke around going, wow, I'm not sure I put all of that work in myself. And they were kind of could see the results as it came in this year.
When was the first moment that you saw as yourself that you were like, I want to be a coach, I want to be a head coach, or just get involved in soccer in some way in order to help other kids?
Well, we're not going to go into years, but it was quite a while ago.
Okay.
I was a very, very young man when I started it, and it's been a process. So it's been a long journey, and I'm happy to see where I'm at as a coach today. I'm glad I evolved from where I was when I first started, because I'm not sure I like that person as a coach.
Well, then if you were starting as a coach, if you look back at where you are now and where you were at the beginning of your coaching career, what's one thing you wish you could have told your younger self now that you have a lot of experience?
I think it's the personal reflection. Go back and reflect on everything that you're doing. Go back and reflect on the conversations you have. Go back on the preparation and be honest with yourself. Go back and really dig through all the details about what's going right, what's going wrong, and be honest with yourself about all those things. And I think as the older we get, the more we realize that that's really important part of the process.